All right, everyone, welcome back to another gaming news video. As always, I'm Cat to Beefy with the Game Vault. We're going to go over a couple things from this week. So let's cue the music and we'll get right to it. All right, first and foremost, by the time you watch this, Doom: The Dark Ages will be right around the corner. I'm talking just over a day away. It's coming out on, the 15th, but you're going to get a couple days early access. So we'll be seeing it hitting the streets here, I think Tuesday, for the early access. I'll be getting a little bit of early access myself. Looking forward to it. Absolutely can't wait. The early Metacritic scores for it are absolutely fantastic. We're looking at Xbox that's holding an 86, an 85 on PC, and an 84 on PS5. A lot of people are talking about it. I commented on a couple of videos I watched, some early impression videos and early reviews, non-spoiler stuff, and indicating how I can't wait for this one. This is a franchise I've enjoyed since the 90s when it first came out on the scene. And if you look back at the old Doom and all that, you may laugh at it, but my God, we all had so much fun playing that game. That and Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein and Doom were the granddaddy and the daddy of the modern FPS games. And it's good to see both of them still going strong. I kind of lost my interest in Wolfenstein. It's not as much fun as it was back in the day, but I always leaned a little bit more toward Doom anyway. Just because the subject matter, the design of everything was so much more fun. Doom Guy was great. The weapons were great. The enemies are fantastic. And seeing these enemies evolve through the years has been so much fun. And just, the way they look, the way they act, the way they do things, it's been amazing. So, yeah. It looks like it's going to be a great time. We're going to be featuring it on this channel quite a bit. And it looks like the reviews that I'm seeing all over the place on YouTube are really, really positive here, as you can see from all these titles here. I mean, people are just eating this game up. So, yeah, absolutely can't wait to get my hands on this one. Let me know what you think about it. Now, I know this is going to be a little bit of a slower paced game than Doom Eternal. A little different than Doom 2016. This is the modern quote-unquote trilogy of Doom games that have come out in the last 10 years or so. And I love Doom 2016. Doom Eternal was fun, but I didn't enjoy it as much as 2016. It was too much jumping and too much craziness in that game. I will have to revisit it after I play this. I might go back to the original 2016 and then Eternal and then, back to this one again, just to get a feel for all of them together. I kind of tend to do stuff like that, but, Eternal was a little too crazy and all that. It was like a jump and shoot game. Run and gun was the theme for Doom 2016, and this one is stand and fight. So it's more of a, you get your shield, you get your melee weapon, as well as plenty of guns, of course. But it just looks like my type of thing. So I can't wait. Let me know your thoughts down below. What was your favorite of the two Doom games, the modern iterations? And are you looking forward to this one? Next up, we're going to talk about naughty Nintendo. Oh, my God. Nintendo, these guys, they've been around for quite some time. I remember the NES, the Super NES and all that. They, at one time, were talking with Sony, and I think they were going to go into partnership to put out the original PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken. And then something fell through, and Sony went on its own to do it, which is fine. And Danny, I'm glad they did, actually. Now, Nintendo, of course, has that new Switch 2 coming out in just a couple months at a pretty hefty price tag. They're the ones going for $80 games right off the bat out of the gate. They're saying that the modern game is going to be $80, which, okay, whatever. Microsoft followed suit real quick saying, yeah, we're going to do $80 games too. I haven't seen anything from Sony on $80 games yet. We've seen games like Ghost of Yotai advertised, like pre-orders and all that at, I think it was still the standard $70. We've seen a lot of games coming out lately at $50 and so forth and so on. So that's cool. Doom is going to be a $70 game, even though it's a Bethesda game. Of course, you can get the upgraded $99 game for Doom. What was it? $70 or was it $79? It might have been an $80 game. Yeah, I think it was an $80 game. But anyway, yeah. So it's we're on the precipice of a major hiking in the cost of things here with Xbox jacking the price up of everything and all that. We'll see what happens with all that. I'm hoping that Sony doesn't follow suit. But back to what we're going to talk about here. Nintendo is probably one of the least consumer-friendly companies out there as far as video game companies. Ever since Palworld came out, they've been all up Palworld's butt, Pocket Pair, the company that developed it, over Palworld and a lot of the stuff that it does. And you can see why. There is some valid reasons for that, some valid similarities to it and all that. But come on, man. The latest one is crazy. And it's using a creature as a hang glider is now a patented thing, I guess, for Pokemon. And you can't use it in Palworld. There were some creatures like the Gale Claw and all that you could use like a hang glider. And now they're saying that you can't do that. So Palworld had to change how the game is played. And I think it gives, now instead of being able to use it as a hang glider, if you have it in your inventory or something like that, or if it's in your group, it extends the length or the amount of time that you can hang glide or something along those lines. I haven't had a chance to play with the game since the change has happened. I'm kind of curious to see what happened there. But man, it's kind of crazy. So, a lot of people talked about this game when it came out. They said it was like Pokemon with guns, and it kind of is. I was never a Pokemon fan. I was too old for it when it first hit the scene and all that. Something about Palworld appealed to me, though, when I first saw it. And I think it was just it was kind of like this innocence to the game, but it was also this kind of cheeky nod and wink thing to it also. Like, we know what we're doing here kind of stuff. With the cute creatures with machine guns and stuff like that. It was pretty wild. It was absolutely wild. It was absolutely hilarious too. So, but yeah, Nintendo's been all over them since then. What do you guys think about that? How do you patent using a creature as a hang glider? If you think about mechanics in games, right? We see games tend to follow trends, right? We never saw, there's certain things you see in games all the time now, like, and you see it in this game as well, a grappling hook, right? We saw that in what was it, the Just Cause games, I believe, had it. They also had the hang glider. We see hang gliders and grappling hooks and stuff like Dying Light games. You see them everywhere. They're in tons and tons of games. It's just ways to get you around the world a lot quicker and a lot faster. We got Ark Survival Ascended and Survival Evolved, for that sake. Came out, 2017, 16? There's a creature in there, the Archaeopteryx, a shoulder pet, a bird, that you can use it as a glider. Is Nintendo going to go after Wildcard for that? I mean, it's only one creature in the game that can do that. I think there's also Cineratops, too, that comes out later on with one of the later maps that can do a similar thing. But yeah, it's kind of funny that they didn't go after those guys, but they've been having a hard on for Pocket Pair. And it's a shame because Palworld's a lot of fun. It's still in early access, so recommend checking it out if you can. It's only going to go up in price when it hits the market at full price. I'm going to see what happens there, but whatever. But yeah, that's that. Next up, GTA 6 dropped their second trailer. Now, it's kind of funny. Last time we talked about how GTA 6 was delayed until next year, May 2026. A lot of people are upset. A lot more people are not surprised. Most people are like, yeah, that figures and all that. But the latest trailer was great. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The updated character models and all that are fantastic. Everybody looks so much better, so much more realistic. Every character looks so much better. I saw an article, someone talking about how good the beer looked, and I went back and I watched the trailer again just to look at the beer, and I was like, yeah, the beer looks good. You can see the bubbles in the bottle and all that. It's hyper realistic in a lot of ways. You can still tell it's a game, but they're really pushing the boundaries here, And one thing, a lot of speculation has been why it was delayed. The game's been in development for 12 years now. People are saying they're pulling out all the woke crap and all that. I don't believe that, but if they are, good for them. Good for them for recognizing that the tide has changed out there and people don't want that stuff, and that would only hurt the game in the long run. Now, if it had woke crap in it, the game would still do well. It's GTA 6, for God's sake. Putting pronouns in it or something silly like that is not going to tank the game, But it could impact it because a lot more people don't like that stuff than do like it. But then you see these articles out there after this latest. It's there's a reason why there's so much pushback against this LGBT community, and it's because they've been forcing themselves on us for so long in every way, shape, and form in entertainment and media, and everybody's just tired of it. It's just this general like, here we go again. Oh look, he's gay. Oh look, she's a lesbian. Oh look, it's trans guy. So everybody's just getting so tired of it. It's overdone, and it's gotten to the point where it's almost comical. We got a guy named Kenneth Shepard with, of course, Kotaku, who writes an article after this latest trailer. Grand Theft Auto 6's Jason is gamers, and that's with a Y, latest sex symbol. And he says, I was going to play Grand Theft Auto 6 regardless of who I got to be, but I got to give a shout out to Rockstar for giving everyone some eye candy with its protagonist duo, Jason and Lucia. While Jason is in a loving relationship with Lucia and seemingly straight, to be determined. Give me a break, dude. He's straight. That hasn't stopped gay men from latching onto the guy after he was shown shirtless, sweaty, and gross in the latest trailer. GTA 6 may still be a year away, but its male lead is already becoming a sex symbol among the gay community after just 2 trailers. And it gets worse. It's pathetic, It's absolutely pathetic. To be determined. He's not gay, Kenny. I'm sorry, man. You're going to have to go, spank your stuff to something else there. And here's where it really gets funny, because these people that write articles like this are the same ones that get mad when a game like Stellar Blade is successful because Eve is too sexy. She's wearing too revealing of clothing. There's too much cleavage or something like that. They're the ones that feel that way about those type of games. But you throw Jason out there working on his roof with no shirt on, and next thing you know, this guy's just falling all over himself. Like, it's pathetic. And they call us gooners for, appreciating a good looking character. Now, like I said, they really updated these character models and they look great. Both of them look great. Lucia looks great. Jason looks great. I'm not going to be spanking my thing to any of them. It's a video game, for God's sake. It's stupid. But they seem to have a chemistry together. They are definitely in a relationship. If you watch the trailer and all that, they look like a modern day Bonnie and Clyde. And it's going to create kind of an interesting dynamic here. I feel like the original trailer also kind of leaned more heavily on Lucia being the sole protagonist, where this one kind of gives us a closer look at Jason, where they might be leaning the game more towards him being the main protagonist, or maybe we're just flip-flopping between the two of them. Maybe you're going to get to choose maybe certain stories. I don't know how they're going to work that out, but whatever the case may be, both characters look entertaining and interesting, and I have a feeling they're going to play off each other very well. And it looks like they're going to be involved with a lot of things together around the same time, so it could be kind of fun like that. But that's not the only article I saw. I had to look up a couple of these articles and just laugh. Pink News, if you don't know that place, don't even go there. You're going to be disgusted. You're going to want to clean your cookies after that. Grand Theft Auto 6 has a chance to fix the franchise's terrible record on LGBTQ plus representation. Written by Shakina Johnson and Pink News staff. Well, Shakina, I think you're going to be in for a huge disappointment. But anyway, they go on to say how throughout the years, the GTA series has not been very kind to the gay community because, let's face it, GTA is it's kind of a satirical game. It's rough, it's tough, it likes to bust chops and make fun of things and all that, which is funny. It's part of its charm, right? Why should it not do that to that community, right? If you're gonna make fun of everybody, make fun of everybody. Have fun with it. I saw a lot of stereotypes in the first trailer, more so than the second trailer. The second trailer seemed to focus more on the story. It looked like a little bit, kind of giving you an idea of some of the heists and stuff that are going to happen in there. The first one just kind of gave you a feel for the overall location, and how it's going to be there, Vice City. And we saw everything from, rednecks with alligators and, the people on the beach and all kinds of different stuff. Lots of little snippets of different types of people. And they all were Florida, man. Let me tell you, they're all Florida. Where this one seems a little more focused on the story and the main characters. So it was just kind of cool. But nothing lent itself to believe that this game looks like it's going to be woke at all. Now, it could be. They could just be hiding it in a trailer and all that. And that would be understandable, given the backlash that we've seen lately. Look at games like Avowed. Look at games like Dragon Age the Veilguard and all that, and how bad they're doing, or how bad they did upon release, and they made no numbers and all that. Whereas games that don't put that garbage in there are doing great, like the Monster Hunter Wilds game, and I'm sure the upcoming Doom game is going to be doing great. So, things like that. But yeah, Shakina, is that what it is? Shakina, yeah, goes on to talk about how the series was bad and how the bout of Gay Tony was an outdated LGBT stereotype. So even though he was in there, that wasn't enough. And that's the thing. It's never enough, right? And like, here's an example of what she's saying here. Whilst it was clear that he was obviously not closeted with a name like Gay Tony, the character's sexuality was never explored, with many players feeling like the game's title was just a way to imply that his raunchy lifestyle of running a nightclub was gay and in some way taboo. I mean, what did you want? Mini games of him, at a glory hole? I don't know. I don't know what these people want. And that's another thing that gets everybody tired of that community is you give. It's like, oh, we want this. All right, well, here, you can have that. Well, now we want this. All right, now and they just keep pushing, and things just get worse and worse. So, yeah, I'm hoping that Rockstar pulled away from that nonsense and they're not embracing that kind of ideology. I hope that if they did put that in there, that it's out, because it's going to be annoying. Another thing they talk about in GTA 5, one of the 3 playable characters, Trevor, was depicted as bisexual with explicit references made to sexual encounters with men. But as the most violently psychopathic and unstable of the game's protagonists, these references often appear to be used more for shock factor than as a fully realized part of his identity. And then they go on to complain about the trans people being deeply offensive. God. Anyway, yeah, it's all stereotypes and making fun of them and all that. And you know what, guys? Well, you want to be seen. Maybe you don't like to be seen. This is how a lot of people see you guys. And if you don't like that, well, I'm sorry. But that's not the last thing we're going to talk about this week. Last thing we're going to talk about this week, of course, is Ark Survival Ascended. We're always going to close off with that since we live stream this game weekly and all that. The Community Crunch 457 came out Friday, and they talked about the male Bison reveal. And that's about it. A couple other little things. So the male Bison is, fortunately there's no milking going on here, but after dealing with an endless parade of mutants, monsters, and elemental nightmares, there's something oddly comforting about a good old-fashioned angry Bison. While his nursing counterpart may be busy feeding the next generation, this stubborn slab of muscle is more interested in clearing out threats with sheer brute force. Don't expect a graceful fight. Do expect a lot of headbutts, ground-shaking stomps, and an unrelenting drive to protect his herd, no matter the odds. Whether he's staring down a Rex or tossing an Allosaur off a cliff, the male Bison will be a force to be reckoned with. So they're still talking about June 2nd for Ragnarok, which is a great thing. And right now it is, 5/11. We're 4 days out from the tail end of their whole between April 15th and May 15th release of, Unreal Engine 5.5, and we don't see anything here, unfortunately, in a community crunch about it. So I'm a little nervous about it, but they also give us some live ops updates, mod spotlights, and bonus rates, community corner, all that kind of stuff. All the usual. So that's the only real highlight of the thing. I'm kind of curious about this Bison. It's kind of a neat looking creature. Even though it's not a dino, it's not the most exciting creature in the world. I do like these realistic creatures sometimes. They can be a lot of fun. The Equus is a lot of fun. The horse, it's a pretty basic creature. If you think about the Ovis, the sheep, how infinitely useful that is for chainsawing it for hide or mutton, cooking up the mutton, that kind of stuff. It's a very, very useful creature. So, yeah, it should be kind of cool. What do you guys think, man? I mean, if they were going to announce a delay, I would have expected it today, or Friday, I should say, a couple days ago. So, not getting that delay yet gives me hope. Am I a fool? Probably. So, but yeah, June 2nd's coming up, man. Hopefully we'll see that released on time. Looking forward to that. Always my favorite map there. Anyway, let me know what you think of these things down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell for notifications. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, peace.